Dangerous. How's everybody doing today? What do you guys want to talk about today? What's that?
I'll be back in an hour.
I heard about that. Is that good? Somebody told me it's worth seeing. I don't know if I believe it. Who's got a topic of conversation? Let's hear it. What? Yes, sir. Lay it on me. Next. I'm bored. I'm kidding. Go ahead. What's more affected by a death? My character. Losing what character? Uh-huh. Losing Deb. Yeah, but here's the deal. I didn't even know she died. Remember that? Remember that? You should watch it. It's a good show. You know, but I lived, which is cool. You know what I mean? Everybody was angry at me, though. They're like, why did you hassle Hannah so much? I'm like, what do you want me to do? You know, he's killing me. He was a good guy. Let him go ahead. I had to try, right? Bitch put me to sleep, though. Definitely Rocco. You know what I mean? Definitely Rocco. He's my boy. Yes, ma'am. You know, I obviously, Willem Dafoe's Willem Dafoe. He's a killer, huge, big-name actor, and I was super excited to do that. But, you know, I mean, you also hear rumors about, like, ooh, Willem Dafoe's a method actor. He's very serious. Moonwalk out of the room, don't look him in the eye, and all kind of crap like that, you know? So, you know, a little bit of trepidation, a little bit of desire. You go into the process. But I got to tell you, all of those stories about him being deadly serious, half true and half false. I'll tell you why. The reason it's half true is because he does occasionally say lines from the movie. You know, like a method actor is like, call me by my character name, and I'm only going to say lines from the film that I'm scripted to say. There was one line that he kept saying. We'd go to dinner, and I'd be ordering a pizza. The waitress would be at the table. And I'd say, yeah, I'd like a margarita, light on the basil, and some soda water. Thank you, ma'am. And then he'd look at her, and he'd look at me, and he'd go, fag. Fuck, never mind, go ahead. We'd be at a crosswalk, waiting for it to turn green. There's a crowd of people coming around, they're looking, they're like, is that Willem Dafoe? And he looks at me, and he's like, fag. I'm like, fuck, man, why you gotta do that shit in public, man? I mean, so he's a good-humored cat, you know what I mean? So, yeah, the method is true, but it's in a nonsensical, humorous way. Super solid individual, really good cat. I'd love to work with him again on anything. And he does have a sizable part in Moondog 3. Yes, sir. No. But he does have a sizable part in it. Yes, it is. You know, Troy's writing it. I can't speak to the pace with which he's writing, but he is writing. So, you know, knowing films and production and everything, you're probably talking about 15 before you see it, though, to be honest. I'd love to say it's coming out. Yeah, it's in the process, man. It's in the process. Thank you, brother. Glad to have you on board. Yes, ma'am. I'd say 30 words. I heard about 2.
How did you feel about being the bad guy in Suicide Peaks? I didn't see that.
fucking loved it. Yeah, man. The mustache twisting is always more fun than smiling and bravado. You know what I mean? I love it. I love being the bad conniver. I enjoy that shit. I relish it. I mean, it was another great opportunity to work with a cat like Christopher Walken, you know? And that cat, I'll tell you, there's something really interesting about anybody that has that bizarre cadence of speech. And they just arbitrarily put pauses. You know, you're just like, are you done? And then he just keeps going with the sentence. You're like, okay, all right, keep going. But once you get to know the cat, and if you transcribe everything that Walken's saying, most normal human being you've ever met. But when you hear him, you're like, you're fucking weird, dude. You know, everybody else is like, it's Walken. I'm like, you're fucking weird. And you gotta imagine this. I always thought about this. It's like, you know, one of my favorite quotes about acting is, it's better to be interesting than real. And I guess that is true. But imagine Walken on his first audition. The casting directors had to be, this guy fucking sucks. He's not believable as a human. When have you ever met a human that does that? Who would go, oh yeah, he's perfect for the role? Who would do that? It had to be somebody going, okay, I don't believe that he's even a mortal, but there's something fucking intriguing about that guy. And it's true. You know, just conversing with the guy, you hang on his every word because you're like, what? Is he thinking of the next word to say when he tells you? That's what I'm thinking. I was intriguing. It was like a study. It was just a sociological experiment for me. He was a wonderful human being, though. I mean, the guy's like a ballroom dancer. He's been married for I don't know how many years. He's one of the most normal human beings ever. But I've come that close to asking him, like, wow, is that, you know, did your mom talk like that? Did your dad? Are you really searching for the next word that you're thinking of telling me with those weird pauses? But man, the cat's a genius. The cat's a genius, man. It's very rare that a guy can be that dramatic, you know, Deer Hunter, and be that funny on Saturday Night Live. Champagne, you know, I mean, the dude, it's difficult to cross those lines, and he's one of them, man. You know, it's rare that, you know, as an actor, you can say I worked with Dafoe and Walken. It's something I can hang my hat on. I'm proud of that, and it was a wonderful experience for me. Had nothing to do with the fact that did I like being the bad guy, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. A little bonus for you. Who's next? What are you eating? Oh, enchilada. Carry on. Yes, ma'am. The Darren Call story? Yeah, has anybody heard this story? No? Well, this is some true shit. Where, like, real life is more bizarre than the written word. I'll tell you, how many people saw Devils Carnival? Right on, man, cool. You know we're making a part 2. Yeah, it's me and Paul Sorvino, we're in heaven, shit goes down, it's crazy. And I lived in that one too, which is kind of cool, you know? So we were filming the Devils Carnival in Riverside, California, which I don't know if you guys know, but it's the crystal meth capital of the world. Who fucking knows shit like that? I do, because we're filming out there, right? There's another story of how I found that out, because we got computers stolen from the set, and it was a bunch of meth heads that ran with computers and threw them in their house. This is another story for another day. But it was all night shoots, if you guys have seen it. It all takes place in the night. So we wrapped at about 6 o'clock in the morning. Actually, about 5 o'clock in the morning. It's like 5:48, and I'm driving home from Riverside. And I'm hungry. So I pull into a little Quickie Mart liquor store. Stupidest thing I've ever done in my life, arguably. Bad part of town. The minute I walk in there and I realize, oh, fuck, you know, the guy's behind plexiglass, there's chains, bars everywhere. I look over and there's a dude in a Tony Stewart NASCAR jacket, like dribbling out of his mouth. He's got like a stain of some Cheetos smear on his cheek. And his girlfriend or wife is just hustling me. I mean, eye-fucking me. She's just like, you know, like the eyeball that you're like, okay, fuck, it's like walking. You want to go like, what's fucking wrong with you, you know? That's not the way you look at somebody, even if you think you recognize, you know. Limbs are going all cattywampus. And I could see her just eye-fucking me. So I grabbed myself a Payday and a Nestle's chocolate milk quick, because I fucking love chocolate milk. And I'm standing in line, and her boyfriend, this big brother with Cheeto smear on his cheek, he's eyeballing, he's looking at her, and he's eyeballing me too, and looking, and eyeballing, and she's just whispering something. And finally, I'm standing in line, and I'm about to put the Payday and the quick down and just fucking get my car and drive. It's early in the morning, I'm starving, but I got about an hour to drive back to LA. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this. And she goes, go! I looked behind me, I'm like, I didn't know if she was talking to me and there's nobody behind me. She goes, is she go? I was like, I don't know what you're saying, ma'am. As I go? That's racist, but I'm no, is you day cow? I said, as I day cow? She goes, no, is you day cow from the criminal mind? I said, from the criminal minds? Darren Call? I'm like, yes, ma'am. I played a character called Darren Call on an episode of Criminal Minds. She's like, I knew that was that Darren Call right there, the criminal mind. I'm like, whoa, you know, I mean, Criminal Minds been on like 15 years. They do 100 episodes a year. I did fucking one. And she's like, I knew that was the Darren Call. And the guy's like, that's the Darren Call. I said, well, that's crazy. She, I've seen that show so many times. I'm like, wow, you must really love Criminal Minds. She's like, what I do, but what happened? I recorded on my VCR, and my VCR broke. So all I can do is I play the one tape, it won't come out. It got your episode to kill the mind. I watch that 3 times a day for the last 6 months. At this point, I'm like, who even fucking has a VCR anymore? You know, and he's just like, that's right. Can't mind, ever seen your face? I was like, holy fucking shit. Here's $3 for my Payday, man, that's cool, let me get the fuck out of there. It was like, I was like, you're fucking genius, lady, fucking genius. You couldn't get the tape out, so she watched my episode every day for like 6 months. She's fucking quoting lines to me. I could barely understand her, but she was like, I love you poking at your nose like that. You're twitching. You're all fucked up. I was like, damn, lady. That really fucking happened, man. I got in my car and I just drove, man. I just drove. That's a Darren Call story. That shit really happened, man. The way I found out about it being the crystal meth capital of the world, like one day we're broken for lunch, right? And I'm from fucking Texas. A lot of computers. You know, we have what's called Video Village, where all the computers, where all the data is housed, and they're looking at all the stuff that we shot. Well, there's computers lined up. We break for lunch, and we're shooting at a carnival, a touring carnival in Riverside. There's like not much security around. All of a sudden, we see these 3 kids, like 17, 15, 16, 17, 20, running off holding computers. And I looked around, I'm like, what? Everybody just froze. They're like, oh my God, they just stole our computers. I fucking bolted after these fucks, man. You know, I'm like, LA people are just like frozen, nobody's moving. I'm like, they're fucking stealing their goddamn computers, man. These fucking little punks run into a house and shut the door. We call the cops come, I'm like, yeah, they're in there, they've got the computers. They're like, well, we don't really have probable cause. I'm like, I fucking saw them. It's fucking probable, right? I fucking saw them. They grabbed them, they ran into the fucking house. They're like, well, you know, we need to get, you know, warrant, we can't. I was like, whoa! What more proof do you need? I saw them. Long story short, they went in, they searched the house, couldn't find him at all. Then, like 2 hours later, they searched the perimeter. The kids had gone into the backyard and thrown all the computers over the back fence. All the computers were like in the grass and shit. Like, you know, $20,000 of iBooks and G Pros and all that. And they'd hucked them over the back fence. And they took out, I don't know, about, you know, 5, 6 Macs, which is about 30 pounds of, you know, IT hardware, but they took about 60 pounds of crystal meth out of that house. which was just trippy and bizarre. They were like cooking and doing wacky shit. I was like, holy shit. Arguably the second stupidest thing I've ever done in my life. You know, go and hassle a bunch of crystal meth cookers. I'm like, give me the fucking computers back! They're like, what? I didn't know. I was just like, fucking give me the computers back, man. That's how I found out it was the cook capital of the world, man. I do stupid shit, man. I can't help it. Who's next? Yes, sir. Oh, dude, I only leave the house for money. No, man, it's fucking Twilight Zone, man. You know? It's fucking Twilight Zone. I mean, I love that shit. I'm a fan, you know? I mean, you know, one of the best things about coming to do these things is, you know, you get to meet all the people and it's a fun experience. One of the worst things is, like, I don't get to check out all this stuff. Like, I saw, at one of these, I saw a 12-foot Chewbacca. And this guy had, like, a steel frame on his legs. And the cage came up on his shoulders, and he had flat foot plants. And there was a guy on his shoulders. So this 12-foot Chewbacca was walking just like, I mean, not animatronic, it was just fully functioning. I wanted to just follow him around and hang out with the Chewbacca, you know? It's like, man, there's just some good stuff to hang out and check out and see, you know? I love Twilight Zone. I mean, the first episode I ever saw was the train that kept going to the same station. You remember that old episode? So when they call, they're like, hey, do you want to do an episode? Your answer's fucking yes. You're like, it's Twilight Zone, man, you know? It's like funny, like, some people ask me, like, so what made you say yes to doing Dexter? I'm like, it's fucking Dexter. I mean, what do you mean? Look at my career. It's not like I'm, like, you know, I was the lead on ER for like 20 years. It's like, you know, it's funny, like, the producers call and they're like, you know, read it and let us know what you think. Inside, I'm like, fucking yes, I haven't even read it, but of course I'll do it. But I'm like, oh yeah, I'll read it and let you know. But, you know, on the inside, I'm like, fucking of course I'll do Dexter, man. It's fucking Dexter. Who's next? Yes. Good outfit, by the way. Do what? Well, you have a good one, too. I like the ear. Say it again. Never saw a frame of it. I cannot tell a lie, man. I'll be honest. I love Twilight Zone. I never saw a Saw. I watched them after I got the part in the 3D, but I'd never seen it prior to that. Never seen it. And it wasn't because I hate it. It was just, so many movies that I've never seen before, and I'd never seen it. But on set is when I started watching them from one, and I really dug the first one. The first one was killer. Some other ones that I enjoyed a little bit, but the first one was killer. You know, another one that I didn't die in. But how much did I suck at saving my loved ones? They're like, don't worry, he's coming. I'm like, bad news, man. I'm gonna fail fucking miserably. But I stole some cool shit, like the string of razor blades that I yanked out of her throat. I got 2 of those strings. I got some good toys, man, from movies, man. That's what being a fan is, you know what I mean? Some actors are like, whatever. I got 7 rosaries. I got 6 peacoats. I got 2 safes full of Berettas. You know what I mean? I love this shit. I can't believe that they, you know, turn you loose with a toy store. Yes, ma'am.
So, I have the pleasure of working with this gentleman on a movie shot very awesome called Insatiable.
Yes. Oh, no shit. Good to see you again.
And as hilarious as it real as Sean is here, is the way he is on set too.
Aww.
Chance to work with this man. I thought he has so much fun because he's not just an actor. He's just what the crew really respect him about him. I don't know if you've seen this, but you played with us. You come out with us. You went out almost every night after we wrapped.
Yeah. I don't know another way, you know? I mean, it's the way I was brought up. I have a good time. I mean, you know, I'm pretty shocked that, you know, they pay you to do this, to be quite honest, you know? And I've had real jobs in my life. I don't know of anybody that ever practiced digging ditches for a year in hopes that one day they'd get a job digging a ditch. Ditch diggers are like, fuck you, I ain't doing this shit unless you pay me. You know, but in my industry, we have people in LA, it's populated by people like, they pay money to go and act, hoping that somebody will see it, you know? It's the only industry I know of that's like that. I don't know of any profession, even doctors, not like, well, I'll do a couple of open hearts for free just because I like it in hopes one day, nobody does it. So I'm honored to be a part of that, and I don't take it for granted at all. Another great story about the Insatiable. I don't know if you remember this, but I wish I remembered his name, but he was a dolly grip, and he talked like that, man, and everybody knows that I have a dog named Donut, right? Well, she travels everywhere with me. You've met Donut, because she's proof. Donut goes with me everywhere. She came to Texas the whole time Insatiable, and he coined this term. He was the funniest, like, country hip-hop dude I've ever met. He had this lingo, and he was like, man, I tell you what, fam, I don't miss you, but I goddamn hell will really miss D to the O nut. I was like, fuck, I love that, man. This full, like, hip-hop hillbilly shit. He was like, fucking come here and give me 5D to the O nut. It was Donut, man. Ever since then, I've coined that term. I call it D to the O. Do you remember who it was? He was a good dude. I wish I remembered his name, man. But he's the one that coined D to the O nut. And it came out just like D to the O nut. I was like, whoa, man. Like a walking kind of delivery. You're just like, damn, man. I had a wonderful time on that. So I appreciate the kind words. Who's next? Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I was there, and I was like 9 or 10 years old, but I've loved Wtach since then. And I was too scared to say anything. I was with my mom, and I was just standing.
That's funny.
I just want to hear more like martial arts. You're still like
Phil moved to Florida. Phil Cardella is a Helson Gracie black belt. I did my first film in Austin in 2000, and I believe I was a blue belt at the time. And everywhere I go, just like I take Donut, I train wherever I go. So I go on the internet and I find whoever I'm going to train with. You know, it's a tiny, tiny community. And I found Phil on the internet. So when I got here and I was filming, this was 99 or 2000, Phil he just got his purple belt from Helson, and I was a blue belt under Hickson. And I did privates with Phil in his studio apartment. He had a 6-foot by 6-foot mat. That was before he opened up his academy. And so I've known Phil for that long. I still consider him one of my instructors, just from way back in the day. But he's a dear friend. I own 2 academies in LA. I have another affiliate in Burbank. Got my black belt May 4th of 08. Thank you very much. I still train every day. You know, it's funny. You know, on Twitter and whatnot, people ask me, like, you know, how often do you train? I say, you know, pretty much every day. But there's people that come by the academy, you know, with their camera, and they're like, dude, what are you doing here? I didn't think you'd be here. I'm like, it's my fucking academy, man. I mean, I spend more time, you know, Donut has her bed there. She has her water bowl. It's like, I spend more time at the academy than I do at my house, you know? It's a huge part of my life. So Phil's one of my dear friends. He moved to Florida. He sends me pictures of like, oh yeah, I just caught this Mako shark, and there's like a 12-foot fish on a string line. I'm like, good, right on, brother, right on. I know Chrissy's still out here. And if I ever have any spare time, I'll swing by. I don't know if you're still training. Do it. Do it. Chrissy's still out here, so I mean, she's a dear friend as well. I've known her for that long. It's a huge part of my life. Huge part of my life. I can't say enough about it. Everybody should get into it. Who's next? Yes. No. There's not going to be a third Moondog. You came late, didn't you? It looks like there will be. Yes. Who's next? Yes, ma'am. Say it again. Do I like cheesecake? Is there somebody that doesn't? Shit's wrong with you 3. Have you fucking tasted cheesecake? I mean, if there's a pot of chocolate next to it, I'm going to opt for the chocolate, but barring the chocolate, I'll fucking take some cheesecake. You gonna bring me some? I'm not opposed to that. There's nothing standing in the way of that happening. I embrace that. Bring me some fucking cheesecake. I like the Texas shirt, sir. Solid. Way to represent. Who's next? Yes, sir. Lay it on me. Be good. You know, it sounds stupid, but have somebody other than your mom tell you you're good. You ever watch American Idol and the mom's like, she can sing, I swear she can sing. You're like, fucking, she can't sing. You fucking saw it, and she's like, oh, say, can you see by the dawns? And the mother's like, sings like an angel. Have somebody other than your mom, have an unbiased opinion, say, you're fucking good at this. And, you know, be honest with yourself. That's the first thing. What's that? Would my opinion count? I would like to say so, but that's also an opinion, you know? It is, at the end of the day. You know, I mean, you just got to be realistic about yourself. When people say, like, what are your best recommendations to get into acting? Be good, move to LA. That's it. You know, if you want to expand your opportunity, it's not going to happen in Milwaukee. It's not gonna. If they cast anything in Milwaukee, it's because they wanted to save money and not buy somebody an airline flight, and they don't care about the role. Everything important is casted out of LA. If you're serious about it, move to LA. If you're dabbling, you be held accountable for your results. If you're committed, fucking pick up and leave. You know, burn your bridges. That's what I say. It's true. Be good and burn your bridges. Who's next? Yes?
How do you think other actors get to the point where they're unappreciative of the audience and, for lack of a better term, just assholes and jokes?
Upbringing. Bad upbringing. Shitty work ethic. Too much free shit. I tell you, man, if you found it on the other side of adversity, you'll appreciate it till the day you die. If it was handed to you, if it came easy, you'll laugh at it. And one day it'll laugh at you. I'll tell you, man, it's like I've had a lot of jobs in my life. I don't take this for granted at all. It could go in a heartbeat. I can't convey to you guys what it feels like to have a room fill up with you guys just want to hear me talk. It's kind of stupid. You know? I mean, I appreciate the shit out of it. I'm enamored, I'm grateful, I'm all of those things to an exponent of 50. And I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. I don't know if you guys know what a green room is. A green room is, they have one here for the actors to go back and lounge and talk about it. And I can't tell you how I want to choke people unconscious when I go back there and I hear an actor going, fuck, how many more hours of this shit do we have? I'm like, you know what, motherfucker? You got a long line of people that want to tell you they love you. There's nothing the human being needs as much as nourishment for their own self-esteem. And they're fucking willingly giving it to you. So fucking blow me, you ungrateful fuck. You know, it's funny, but I don't say that to get applause, but I mean it. That makes me angry, you know? We should be so lucky. I haven't got a real job in 20 fucking years. And I know what a real job is. It's the kind of thing that you would not do unless somebody pays you to do it. And I do this shit for free. I do this shit for free. You know? And I don't take it for granted at all. I'm very grateful, and I hope it continues because I absolutely love it. Yes, sir.
Brother, thank you for being real. So my question is, do you miss Texas living in LA?
Absolutely. The first tweet when I got off the plane was, I fucking love the smell of Texas in the morning. Did you guys see that video? Did I make one of those when I landed in Cleveland? No. Say it again. Yeah. Man, I gotta tell you, I love Texas. Brother, you have no idea how close I am, man. You know, zero state income tax, man. Great, good people. You walk into the grocery store, somebody says good morning, and they don't look at you like you're fucking crazy. What's that? Oh, man, I'll tell you, hey, God bless LA. I love it. It's got a lot of neat things. But when you go in the grocery store and the guy behind the checker, you're like, good morning. He's like, you're like, I said good morning, man. I'm not gonna rob you. I don't want to steal anything from you. I said fucking good morning. I hope shit's good for you. You know, I hope it puts a smile on your face. Let me tell you this. I just sold my first LA house in the hills. You know, right up by the Hollywood sign, overlooking the city. It was a panty dropper, my bachelor pad, right? But I'll tell you this. I had that house for 10 years, and I knew 2 people on the street. I can't add words to make that sound more ridiculous. In Texas, when you move to a neighborhood, people come up with cookies. They're like, hey, we're the Johnsons. My dad does work on Volkswagen, so if you need anybody, he's my dad. Oh, also, my mom is a member of the Bridge Club, so if your parents play, it's like that. In LA, if you knocked on somebody's door with cookies, they'd be like, whoa, I don't want to touch those. If I shake your hand, there's a liability. You could sue me if I squeeze too hard. You know, my kids are in school, but there's no sports because they're all winners. You're like, back to your point of why they're ungrateful fucks, that's why. Because they all fucking made the team, you know? Real world, you don't fucking make the team unless you perform, you know? I love Texas, man. I love Texas. I absolutely adore it. It's great when I get off the plane, outside of when they open the door and it goes, and the humidity hits me. But I'll take the humidity for the good people, man. Who's next? Yes, Platy Plaid Plaid. Say it again. You know, I was born in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Really? Mother of God! I thought it was a population of me. Lo and behold, there are others. We are umbilically connected. You know, I lived there. My mom and dad, my dad got transferred when I was 3, and we moved to a tiny town outside of Houston. I don't know if you guys know Missouri City, Richmond, Rosenberg area. Yep. Ended up going to University of St. Thomas, right in downtown Houston, and went to Dulles High School. So I'm a Texas boy. You know, all of my, you know, up to 3, although I was born in Louisiana, it's like, you know, my mama and granddaddy still lived in Lake Charles. My other grandma and grandpa lived in DeRidder, Louisiana. So I'm straight up Bayou people, man. You know, my granddaddy was a deputy sheriff of Lake Charles, Louisiana. I understood a couple of words that he said. Taught me the coolest shit known to man. My parents were appalled. My granddaddy, Flanery, get out here. Call me out onto the porch. Call me by my last name. He taught me some of the cool shit. He'd say, goddamn bear's ass, that's a bunch of mouse pussy shit. I'm like fucking 6. He'd be like, Flanery, get out here. And he'd be on the porch with James, his buddy. He'd be like, why you ain't a skirt chaser, boy? I'm like, I'm fucking 6, you know? I don't even know what the fucking Jimmy Johnson's for yet, you know what I mean? My granddaddy was the coolest cat I've ever met, and much to my parents' chagrin, he taught me a lot of good stuff, man. I'll tell you, one of the first time, my first football game, you know, I was raised, you know, my dad was in Air Force, long line of military people, and I was the first one that actually didn't serve, but when I was on my first football team, I was 6 years old, and when they played the national anthem, you take your hat off and you cover your heart. It's just what you do. I didn't know any different. And we're standing up, lining up, Braeburn Bears, and Angleton Red Devils. And this cat across me kept his helmet on. And I said, I said, do you take your helmet off? And he just looked at me, nods no. We're facing each other, my team and their team, lined up down the field. So I took the motherfucker's helmet off. And a shuffling scoot, he's holding his helmet. I turned to walk back to line, and he cracked me with his helmet. KO'd me. But afterwards, you know, my granddaddy comes down, big man, you know, 6'2", huge hand, grabs me by my shoulder pads in the front, lifts me off the ground, and all the crowd can see him scold me, and he goes, God damn it, I'm proud of you, boy. And he puts it down, and everybody's like, oh, thank you for scolding him. That's not right to start a fight like that. That's my granddaddy. Same thing, upbringing. You know, a lot of parents would be like shocked at that. LA, oh my God, they'd fucking social services. I wouldn't have parents if they knew that shit. Right now, they're probably fucking retroactively trying to go and get him right now. Somebody will put this shit on YouTube, they'll be like, look that fucker up. They say his name is Granddaddy, search under G's. Fucking LA mentality. Yeah, search under G, you'll find him, yeah. But that was my granddaddy, you know, shit like that. Who's next? Yes. Thank you for the service. I appreciate it. You know, one of the coolest things that me and Ritas had an opportunity to do, and another one of the benefits of you know, being on shows or TV or thing like that is you get invited to go and do a USO tour. And he and I went to Djibouti, Bahrain, Dubai. We did a lot of cool stuff. And speaking of martial arts, I got to tour and teach the combatives at a number of those bases. So I got to roll with all the guys. You know, they were out there fighting. I gave them an opportunity to kick the shit out of me. And I had a wonderful opportunity. I'm very grateful for it. It was one of the best experiences. We flew in choppers, shot 50 mils out of the side. It was killer. I'll never forget that day. Me and Rita spent 10 days over there, and we'll do another one. Thank you very much. Who's next? Yes. I'm sorry? Steel cage, baby. Does any part of you think I forgot it? Huh? Yes, I know it. I can do it in any fucking dialect you want. What's your favorite dialect? Spanish? We're in Texas. You wanted to really test me, so you picked Spanish? Si muero batalla, mi último recuerdo será de ti, baby. You want me to do the prayer in Spanish? I don't know if I can translate it that quickly. What's that? Irish. You've all heard it in Irish. What? You want to hear it live? Fuck you, no shit. Sit the fuck down, you little hussy. Who's next? Can't believe nobody came up with do it in a Uruguayan dialect. But you were raised in Scotland for 6 months prior to being transferred to Indonesia. I want to hear all of them in a cluster. Certainly somebody could have fucking Spanish. I mean, don't we all speak Spanish because we fucking grew up in Texas, right? You go anywhere else, they're like, you're bilingual? That's crazy. 2 of them? Oh my God. Can you order and everything in Spanish too? No. I can just converse. Can't order. LA, man, LA. Who's next? Yes. It depends in what context. The favorite scene to shoot or the one that I really enjoyed the final product of. The one that I like watching is ripping the toilet out. Because I tell you, I mean, that to me is what the whole story is about. It's about just what we're talking about, overcoming adversity. It's something impossible that you refuse to believe is impossible because, you know, if you have a why, you'll find any how. You know? How do you do it? I'll find out how because I know why I need to. My brother's being taken away. And that to me is what the whole story is about. You find a way to make that shit happen. You know? What was the funnest on the day was probably blowing up the fucking cat. Because fucking Rocco had no idea. Rocco, God bless, very dear friend of mine, one of the most gentle, warm human beings I've ever met. Rocco on the day, he's like, so Sean, the cat when we showed it, is it loud? I was like, no, Rocco, it's not. But me and Duffy had practiced it, shooting it into the lake behind Toronto. It was an air cannon that we shoved all kind of shit in. But we're dudes, so it was an air cannon. We were sticking sandwiches in it and launching them out into the river. And it sounded like a fucking 12-gauge shotgun. So Rocco came up to me, he said, lad, I'm like, no, Rocco, it's not. It's really quiet. So you have to act whenever it goes off. We had spaghetti, tomato sauce, all kind of shit in there. Although I tell Pete it was a real fucking cat. Fuck them. And, yeah. Did you do the cat's nails? Yes, we did the cat's nails. Yes. I wear a live rattlesnake as a condom. Fucking swallow it. Fucking PETA officials, man. That was a sincere laugh right there. So on the day, Rocco, he thought he was gonna have to act. And when this fucking thing went off, what you see is real. When you see me and Ritas laughing, we're laughing at fucking Rocco. Ritas is like, did that really just happen? He's like breaking character because he's like, did that really just happen? We were laughing. Rocco jumped out, like pissed himself. And I know he likes to tell the stories like, no, I was really acting like I was surprised. Oh, fucking shit, Rocco. He fucking jumped out. He fucking pissed himself. And we laughed. We shot that in one take. We laughed for 45 minutes, shut down production because it was that fucking funny. But I mean, when the thing went off, it's like, boom, like a cannon. He wanted to do another take. He was like, no, it scared me. I wasn't there. I wasn't focused. You're like, dude, it fucking looked genius. We're fucking moving on. No, please, let me do it again. No, Rock, fucking moving on. It's fucking genius. We got time for a couple more, guys. Yes, ma'am.
Since you were young Indiana Jones, you went around the country.
Yes.
What's your favorite country?
The question was, since I was young Indiana Jones, I got to tour the country, but actually I got to tour the world. I went to 56-something countries. And what is my favorite country? The United States of America. Thank you, brother. I saw some wonderful cultures. I saw some wonderful places. I loved Prague, Czechoslovakia. Basically, they went through 2 world wars by saying, fuck it, we give up. So there's not any bullet holes anywhere. It's like there's nothing, remnants of the war-ravaged country. And you can walk up to what you think is like an old antique library building or something, and you look in the window and it's like, Big Mac. Fuck, this is a McDonald's, But from the outside, it's like a cobblestone street, and it's old architecture with gargoyles hanging over, and you're like, McNugget, fuck, that's weird, But you're hungry, so you get a large shake, But Prague was one of my favorite places. I mean, I went to all the Gaudi structures in Barcelona, La Ramblas. I went to India. I went to China. I've been to both St. Petersburg and Leningrad. Same city, Soviet Union. Russia, I've seen so many things. I saw a python with a hoof going in its mouth because it devoured an elk. I've seen some bizarre things, and it's something that I value more. It's a bigger prized possession than my university studies. I mean, I learned more from traveling around and seeing different people and what makes them tick, and what their drives, their secrets, their dreams, their desires are. And I realize we all have one thing in common. We're all humans at our core. I love the United States. It's my favorite country, but I absolutely adored traveling and seeing everything. I had an apartment in Rome for 6 years, and it was in Trastevere, a very famous square overlooking the Pasquino, which is the American theater. It's a convertible theater where the roof opens up. And so you can see the sky, but I had an apartment on the top so I could watch the movies every night. It was just like, who lives like that? You know what I mean? And you want me to be angry it's just like stupid that they paid me to do that. I'm like, I'm just on the rooftop apartment in Rome, in Trastevere, I had a wonderful experience. But, there's all kind of people say, oh my God, Cannes, the south of France, it's so beautiful, it's amazing. You know what? The water's murky and the sand's brown. You go to the black sand beach of Kauai, that's fucking beautiful. Whenever you go to one of these beaches and you look at the postcard and you're like, what day did they take this shit on? That's Cannes. You're like, when did they fucking take this? You know what I mean? You go to fucking Hawaii, you're like, yep, that's where I'm at. The fish look like they take batteries. Yep. Sand's fucking light. There's some other places like that, but in like the Hawaiian Islands, you can shop, you can get the best restaurants. It's like there's a mixture of some life and some amazing views. Don't get me wrong, Fiji, St. Bart's, and Chopu, those are some amazing places. But I got to be honest, the United States is my favorite country, and I don't say that just to be American. I absolutely love it, absolutely adore it. One more question. Yes, ma'am. Fuck off. Did you believe that shit I said about appreciating you guys? Come up here. We got time for another one while this hug is proceeding. Come on, get you some, baby. There you go. Yes, ma'am. Booyah! Hey, listen up. It's your, listen up, guys. Reedus, Walking Dead right now, he's slammed signing his pictures, so he can't really break away because there's a lot of people that drove a lot of distance to do this, so I speak for him as well. From the bottom of my heart, guys, you have no idea what it's like to be in this position. And it's not just me. I'm grateful for it. He's grateful for it as well. It's truly an honor that you guys take a time out. Some of you guys drove from Kentucky or wherever to come and hang out and listen to us tell stories. Where? Minnesota. Come on, you know? And Reedus feels the same way. So from he and I both, thank you very much for everything that you guys have given us, because the reason that we have a career is because of guys like you. And I don't say that just to be an ass kiss. From the bottom of my heart, I swear to God, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys very much. You're appreciated. Take care, guys.